Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to cover the Mosko Moto Nomad bag. This is the first version. The updated version is called the No Max, but this is the very popular version that's out there. It has a lot of really nice features involved. I get a lot of inquiries in the morning when I wake up, people reaching out in the New England region knowing that I have one, and it's kind of pricey, but is it really worth it? A lot of features here, so we're gonna delve into some of that. Try and cover things that aren't seen on the hundreds of other videos on these. So we're gonna go over weights, measures, actual fitment, some tricks that I have come up with. So let's jump in. Okay, I'm gonna cover this fairly quickly so we can get down to the nuts and bolts of it. It's a multi-layered system. They kind of went away from the conventional junk drawer mentality that some other products do. It does pack a lot of features into it, so I'll just breeze over this fairly quickly. The outer layer, we're just going to call this the beaver tail, the mini beaver tail type of idea. It's great for putting gloves and quick connecting. There's a adjustable latch on either side, MOLLE down the front. There's a kind of a business card sized or flashlight sized container here. Pens, this sort of main pocket. That's kind of the idea where you'd shove your gloves in a hurry at a gas station. Then the next pocket up, there's a key clip here. I attached a microfiber cloth for goggles or rain or any issues with my glasses, things like that. You could do anything you want here, but that's how I use the key clip. Inside of here, 2 or 3 more was the main pocket. There's another one here that would fit bear spray or pepper spray. That's what I tend to use with it. A couple little male Velcro sections here, so you can latch something in. That's kind of the main top quick access. This is now layer 2, I'm going to call it. It's a fairly large pocket right about here. You can imagine what that would be: smokes, lighters, things like that. Another one about the same size below it. I used it for my electronics cabling. Another pocket down here with just about the same size. So there's 3 there. Then here is 3 smaller ones. We'll call those 2 fingers apiece. You decide. Batteries, GoPro. This looks like this would be like a GoPro area. A couple pens. There's a hidden pocket here. It's often overlooked, but it's got a mesh on the top, and it's about the size for sunglasses. However, see here that it fits glasses, but it's really kind of cumbersome with one hand in a hurry when you're holding in a clutch. I think that although it fits, it always got caught up on me, so I never really used it. That's just real practical use right there. The next layer. Where are you? Here we are. And yet another layer. Peel this open. Very large side pocket. And then what's going to call a raised pocket. There's a little bit of a lip here, so you can get a book or something large in there, but just pocket after pocket. This is a removable Velcro piece. It appears to be perfect for contact lenses or solutions or film canisters, old school. There's nothing down in here. There's another grab all on the side, small, I don't know what, a lighter type of idea. There is a pass-through here for electronics, so if you maybe batteries are charging, electronics pass-through is right here. Almost put my finger through. This thick padded area is accessed from the outside, and this is the waterproof rollout. So when all these layers are going down the road, it stays connected, but you can quickly and easily roll this out and put it over the top. I don't get too fancy with it because it's going in and out really quickly. On the underside is a really slick setup. When we get to here, inside was carry piece is really quite nice. Right inside of here is a large full pocket size that could hold maps, but it actually holds the straps for the backpack. Comes out and they come around and clip to these blue clips here on the bottom. So if you have to walk out or go around town and want to keep your valuables with you, it's a soft backing, and it really is a slick setup for that. As you probably notice, there's a hydration hose that goes around. This piece here is where the dromedary bag goes in. They've made an adjustment with the new bag, the updated Nomax. I believe this is a larger opening here, and I happen to have this with, it's a 1.5 liter bag. There's 1.5 in there now, and a quick release, and it would go in this order. And you can already see that it's kind of cumbersome. It doesn't actually fit the hole. You have to kind of wedge it in sideways, and then invert it like this and give it a shake, and it goes in fairly easily. But you can see that there's that much more thickness is going to come into play. Right above that, quick access pocket. I don't really know what it's for, because you can see that glasses don't really fit very well. So what I do is, how I use it is I would just take $1 bills and fold them into little cubes, so I can quickly grab one for the toll. The tolls around here in New England are about $1 for a motorcycle. So it's that's just how I happen to have used it. Mounting comes with a steering head strap, and it would kind of go like this around underneath your front frame. Connects together so it doesn't fall. It's male and female, clips on there, pretty straightforward. On the sides, this has the updated version. I've retrofitted it, but it does come with two strapping mounting, and we'll cover that shortly. Okay, let's go over the actual realistic items that I carried with me. When I first got the bag, I stuffed it with everything, and it was big and bloated like a pillow, but I really didn't use a lot of the items I put in there because I was excited. Realistically, this is what it boiled down to for summer of 2020. And even still, some of these were just there for whatever reason. This flashlight I really like. It clips right here on my shirt, or neck of my shirt, or front pocket of my jacket, and when it's on, it points exactly where I'm working. Battery power pack charger. I have a bigger one that I carry with me, but for some reason I just carried on. High power tactical flashlight, grid around camp. Writing items, charging cables, probably about 3 or 4 of those, Android and iPhone series. This backup charger again, and then here a battery tender, USB charger. You know, this is actually has a little more amperage to it. It works better than some of the others. Helmet lock, the obligatory sanitizer for 2020. Hopefully not needing that in the future. About 4 or 5 protein bars, or granola bars. Obligatory mask again for, I have maybe 2 or 3 of those. Then panic tissue paper, never hurts. These are actually kind of cool, but it packs small. Leatherman, it's good to have around. Tire pressure gauge, pepper spray. It's not quite bear spray, but it does burn for animals or assailant, skunks, things like that. A couple batteries, headphones, ear plugs for riding. I might have about 4 or 5 sets of those. Keys for the alarms and the locks that are on. Shortcut paper for my Cardo Pack Talk, and extra pair of gloves for around camp, or if I have to fix something in a hurry that's not my riding gloves, that I a little more nimble. So that's probably really realistic. And as you can see, volume wise, it's not a whole lot. I'm going to take all of these items, put them in a bag, and weigh them, and we'll talk about weights and measures. I have a luggage scale that I use for a lot of different things, and it's accurate enough for this purpose. This bag, just by itself, alone, without the dromedary bag, but I did weigh it with the map pocket. I forgot to mention this earlier, but it comes with the map pocket. I just don't use it. The empty Nomad by itself comes in at 3.14 pounds. The dromedary bag with 1.5 liters of water comes into 3.6 pounds. The contents that I showed you just a few earlier, I put it all in this bag and weighed it, and it comes in at 2.54. Realized I'd missed an item, so it's actually about 2.7. Added these all up, and you can see that this is just about 9.5 pounds with the extra items in there. 9.5 pounds to really only carry 2.5 pounds worth of product. So you're really only carrying about 1/3. The water, yeah, it could be on your back or saved in here. That's entirely up to personal preference on whether you have it on top of your tank or on your back. It's a little easier when it's on the tank, but that's a flexible number because it will go down or you're not going to use it. So 3 pounds for a bag or just under 3 pounds for contents. You decide whether that makes sense. When it's on the tank, I'm going to do a realistic stretch from here to around. I mean, we're looking at, in a straight line, we're looking at 16 to 17 inches from just about 17 end to end. Height-wise, right now I've kind of packed it up with some shirts, and the water hydration bag is in here right now. So if you had a full pack of hydration and the contents that I showed you previously and some gloves, it would probably blow it up to about this height. And I'm looking across here, and it's about 7.5 to 8 inches. 7 if I push down, and 7, just under 8 inches as it pops up. You can see here. So it's got some height to it. Width-wise, I believe they say 8.5 inches. I'm going to go from the outside of the hydration hose to the outside of the hydration hose, and I'm seeing this ding in at about close to. I mean, they say 8.5, and they are correct. But when this flattens and pushes around with dealing with your legs and whatnot, we're closer to 9.5 of stuff that you're going to feel or hit. So 17, about 7 to 8 like this, and roughly 9 and change back and forth. Here's my 2020 KTM 790R. This bag is very popular and ends up on a lot of these bikes, but there's some things I want to point out that can really help and keep you from making a mistake. It's very easy for the harness when you mount it that the clips end up pretty close to right about where the frame is right here. And when you steer left or right, the fork will come around and smash against it. Right now the steering stops have it so that the fork is just maybe 1 millimeter from the frame. If this clip is in there, it will smash it and break it, which had happened to me twice. So make sure that these clips are high enough up out of the way, and any buckles you have are below, and that this area is just a strap and nothing else, and it barely touches at that point. And you can see with the bag that make sure that this buckle is way up underneath it, behind this tab. That's the key. Otherwise it will float down and get somewhere in here and cause you some trouble. Okay, on the lower side strapping points, I've seen often a lot of people that they mount these a little too high so that the buckle itself ends up just over this frame protector, and it pops out quite a bit. It's easy to smack your inner leg on or boots, or if the bike goes down and hits something, it will smash the clip right here. So it's a lot smarter to have this a little lower, and it tucks in behind this piece. Also, there's a metal tab behind here on both sides of the frame. Put the zip tie underneath the tab, and so that any pulling coming upwards on the strap catches on the tab underneath there. And of course, you already know this, but make sure you don't bind any wiring that's on the back side and could cause you a fray. Let me just kind of rotate that to show you how much that frame nub sticks out. And you want to have this underneath, and then the strap will come out and just kiss on that very nicely and then go up. Here on the right side of the frame, you can see that I've taken the strapping part and ran the zip tie, this one here, just underneath this frame tab, or this mounting tab that's for the brake reservoir. And when you go underneath there, that is what's going to keep it from coming up. And notice that the buckle is below this tab, or this I believe it's the front top shock mount. So it's kind of tucked in underneath, so your leg doesn't hit it. And a common mistake is it sits right about here. So be aware of that. And then also you can see that I have this tucked up as far forward this way as possible. and it's slightly touching the bag. But you can see that this is a realistic placement we have here. So I'm going to climb aboard, and so you can see what it's like when I'm standing and how it hits my legs. Sitting, it's out of the way. It's quite nice. I'm not touching or feeling in any way, and I'm sitting in a pretty active position. And I'm not sitting back. This is about where I might ride going down the road. As soon as I get forward and I have to do a climb, this is where I really start to notice it. I have to be honest, I kind of got used to it. It would pinch against it in this area, but you do feel it. And if you're doing a steep, you're coming through a little gully or a gulch and having to come up the other side, or a steep incline, it has gotten in the way, because this might be a realistic angle, and I have a hard time getting forward. So I'm kind of on the fence of it myself. I was questioned by someone the other day on whether this starts flapping around, or whether we should keep it cinched down, or is this a realistic use? I have to be honest that although this clips here and has adjustable cinching to pull it down, honestly, most of my rides, I kept this undone. It doesn't flap around, 70, 80 miles an hour. It's never been an issue. I don't see it move. And two reasons for that is, if I did have it clipped, I would have it underneath the hydration hose, but I don't. Secondly is, I keep this part of the hose detached, and when I'm riding, it is with my left hand, or right, whichever. It's very easy, and I have the length to pull this up and sip, and then just with one hand I pop this back in. And that was a realistic usage I found in Utah. The hot weather, just sip and stuff it back in. So I rarely had this part clipped down, and stuff was fine. Okay, in conclusion, the Mosko Moto version 1 Nomad, I believe the new version is the same size, just some updates. The MOLLE panel is slightly different. I believe the pocket opening to get in, a couple small things inside. Hydration pack is a different design now. But all in all, I hope that the weights and measures review of this is helpful, either on the KTM 790 tank placement, because it is a short tank, or any smaller ADV bikes, 500cc, 600cc window, just to give you a rough idea about how this fitment would work. I hope it was a help for somebody questioning whether they should get something like this. It's a pricey unit, but you get a lot for it. And in conclusion, if you're somebody that likes to have organization with a pocket for every single thing, and that's the way you work, I can't find anything else better out there than this. If you're a drunk drawer type of person, you might want to go in a different direction. It's just layer after layer after layer. All right, enjoy. Of course, obligatory like and subscribe. Any comments or questions, please feel free to reach out. Mosko Moto Nomad, version 1.